when you go talk to a doctor and you have some heart palpitations, do you want to go to a general doctor or do you want to go to a heart doctor? Right. So if you want to become so good at something, you've got to be a heart doctor. Heart doctors get paid the most money, right? More than general doctors. So for me was, what do I want to be? Just a generalist real estate investor and go do 3, 4 things, never become the greatest in the world at one of them. And I had to make a choice. And I loved the fact that there was other reasons for me to make that choice, but I went all in. 5 years later, we're here sitting in this great room, and I'll get to meet amazing people. We're driving a $30 million portfolio right now between our funds and our investments, and we're a full operator and build and platform builder for say. But we could talk about that later.
And
Super excited.
wow, $30 million portfolio. At this point, you decided in 24, did you decide, was it 24 that you saw the opportunity to become a fund manager? And what was the reason that you decided to go that route, to raise capital, the same as the same as you had experienced already, but doing it the right way? What was the thing that got you to pivot directly into raising capital and becoming a fund manager?
I love that question, Tanae. Thank you for asking that. So let me bridge the gap here real quick. So at the end of 2018, I had about 10 short-term rentals, scaled to about 20. And by the time COVID hit, I had about 40 short-term rental doors. A handful of those were actual homes. The rest were rental arbitrage deals, which we would rent and sublease. Okay.
Got it.
And I was doing a lot. We went up to 55 under management, in 2021. So as we were scaling, right, we were scaling a property management business for say, rented units instead of owning our own properties. When I met my wife back in 2020, we not only start working together at first, we partnered and we created our first company together in 2021, and then we got married later at the end of the following year. The big transition for us was George, Mona is my wife, like how do you take the little that you've built, this is 2022, and then make something more meaningful, create something more impactful and something bigger that can help others, but not only yourselves. And how do we scale our own portfolio? Right. So we started buying some of our own properties, right? This is back to 2019 to 20 when we started. We had a couple, but by 2022, right, we were already doing 7 figures in our business, but we didn't know how to scale it. We were just stuck, right? We're stuck at a certain level. And we, again, had to make a choice. How do we create more value? Jim Rohn says, to get to where you want to go, you have to help more people get what they want.
That's right.
And what we figured out is that in order for us to get to where we wanted to go, we needed to create something that would help other people get what they want. Right. So we went all into learning how to build a fund or a syndication in 23.
Okay.
So 2023, fast forward to when you and I met, I was just forming our first fund. And towards the end of that year is when we launched, right, the first iteration of our fund. And this is not an easy thing. It took us 6 to 9 months to really learn, right? Even though I'm a fast action taker, but sometimes you can't make informed decisions again, right? Based on my past mistakes, I needed to learn how to create this platform, right? Or how to create what we're building now. And that took a while. Then launched the fund.